Hey guys, Thewindyfan here with the continuation of what we did with the last MR, which is another Riot feedback, but for Nineb vs Sekyo. Overall, this was a great MR, so I kind of wanted to take a page from Tristan and Mr. Sun.mp2 and provide some of my own feedback to Nineb and Sekyo on their animations, and hopefully this will be useful to others as well. So let's get it. Also, just disclaimer that I may go on a random tangent at some various points, but anyway, Nineb. I'll start with the pros first, which there are many, but to keep things brief, the established plot of Nineb and his mentor Zeke retrieving the crystal from the mob hideout, and then the ensuing action that happens from there was pretty entertaining. The setting and music choice helped to set the general mood of the animation, and the overall progression of the animation was done well. Now, there were several things that I believe could have been improved. First being the text. I could see that you were going for having large text with solid colors matching with the character speaking and then having a white glow around it, but this doesn't work too well with the camera motion and character motion going on at the same time. I'd recommend having the text fill white with the glow being the color depicting the character speaking, so it is a bit easier on the viewer's eyes. And also, it'd probably be more suitable to keep the text a bit smaller and at a consistent size, so then the text can be bigger for more comedic or important moments that should stick out. Another thing others and I noticed were the overly simplistic backgrounds for most of the outdoor bits of the animation. As Emilia noted, adding some extra background elements aside from the tiles and immediate foreground goes a long way to giving the setting some more depth to the animation overall. Also, for the shot at 3 minutes 50 seconds where the trees are scrolling by fast, it was hard to easily see the character animation clearly, so for those kind of shots I strongly recommend blurring those trees to not only give more of the motion blur effect, but also to draw focus on the character animation better. There were many moments in the action-heavy parts of the animation where the pacing felt a little bit erratic, or more so the timing was a bit all over the place. Along with adjusting how quick some actions take, adding some more visual effects for attacks or swings would have helped remedy this issue a bit better, while also fixing up the overall flow of the animation, since there are times where characters are jumping around a bit too suddenly, making it hard to follow what's going on. There were also lots of instances where many impact frames were used in a really short 3 to 4 second window that were pretty unnecessary and ended up hurting the overall pacing of the animation. Lastly, I'd say the ending came off a bit too abrupt in my opinion. Like having an extra shot or a small scene to anticipate the cliffhanger shot would have done really well with the One Piece end card. Now on to Sekyo's animation. Although there were many things to be desired in your animation, I will say that the small bits and pieces where there was just pure combat animation taking place were pretty solid. However, there were lots of things that could have been improved upon, so to keep things brief, I'll go over the 3 main aspects that need some observation. The first main issue I noticed overall was the amount of hiccups in the animation with the pacing and short transitions, along with how some shots were vaguely cut to and from. I feel you would have benefited from scripting or blocking out your animation beforehand, so then your ideas could flow better and the overall animation would feel more cohesive rather than disjointed. The absence of sound effects in the animation only elevated these hiccups more as well. The second main issue, which ties into the first issue, was the combination of overly emphasizing the music sync and the stiff camera movements. The reason the pacing felt really short in the animation was because there were many moments in the animation where nothing really happened while waiting for the song to progress further before the animation would then suddenly resume. The camera work was really stiff and felt awkward for most of the animation, along with some of the action being captured alright before a sudden cut to a still shot where nothing happened for a second or two. Additionally, lots of the zooming and panning of the camera lacked ease, which would have helped the camera work look more natural and less mechanical. The last thing is the ending felt very rushed. Along with most of the action near the end, the camera moves a bit sporadically alongside the characters, suddenly moving around a bit choppily, before the end with the black backdrop being cut off from most of what the camera is showing. So that's all the feedback I really had for this MR, and I will say that both of you have improved a lot from your previous animations, so keep up the good work. I'm also eager to see what you guys create next, and I hope this has been helpful.